Hey, it is a third of the way through the year and I'm doing okay. How are you doing? This is Katie from Crafting Ruby Dreams and welcome to my channel where I talk about planners, goal setting, writing, publishing, and getting right with my finances. Today, I am talking about my May goals in the MäksēLife planner and giving an update as to where I am with regards to my annual goals. A quick overview of the annual goals are that I'm doing okay. The biggest point is that one of my stretch goals for the year was in the physical environment area of life, and I wanted to move apartments. I am about halfway through that process as I moved out of my old apartment in DC. I put my stuff in storage as well as purged it when I moved out of the apartment, and I am waiting for the lease on my next apartment to start, which will be next month in June. And then I will move into the apartment, get my stuff out of storage, have it delivered, and then come back home to Chicago and stay with my parents for the summer. But I will have moved apartments, so check off one stretch goal for the year. The two other stretch goals that I have for the year are in the health and wellness area of life and in the financial area of life. The health and wellness stretch goal was to and is to develop a regular exercise routine. I'm still working on that, partially because I've had some foot issues in both feet for the last few months. So since I tend to prefer walking for my form of exercise, that has caused some issues, but both feet are good to go, so I'm going to work on developing the walking routine at the very least. My parents have also recently gotten a Peloton bike, and I will be trying that out periodically, partially because the bike itself, I don't have shoes. Thankfully, my dad and I happen to wear the same size, so I will be using his shoes for when I want to do a cycling class. But the other things I want to try with the app now that I have a profile, and if you want to follow me over there, it is Devil Librarian, 2 L's. So I'm going to actually more work on the strength courses and the flexibility. I think that's an area of the Peloton courses, as well as the meditation. That is the area that I'm particularly interested in trying out and experimenting with. And then for my financial area of life, the stretch goal is to address my limiting beliefs surrounding money and wealth. This is really due to the fact that I have a spending problem and I spend more than I make, and I do not like the debt cycle, and I would very much like to get out of the debt cycle. So that is going to require me to both address my spending habits and get them below what I make. And I'm also going to be working on bringing in more income in order to pay off the debt I do have at a faster rate. So juggling some balls and trying to figure out what my priorities are with how I spend my time, because right now my priority is to spend my free time with my family and not work myself into exhaustion. My current job, there's no real way for me to earn overtime because that's just not the type of work that I do. So I need to find another job of some kind that will bring me income. I am working on it, and you can follow that journey in my Getting Right with My Finances playlist, which I will link above in a card. My other areas of life are doing well. Those are areas where I did not have stretch goals, so I am kind of adjusting them to what my time, space, and energy priorities are. And right now, the spiritual and personal growth area of life, while I didn't have a specific stretch goal and basically wanted to learn more about my strengths, which are the CliftonStrengths, and kind of get myself back out of burnout. That was part of the goal of that particular area of life. So with regards to that, I did join clubmakse, which started today on May 1st, and it is close to registrations. So far, so good. It's just right now we're easing into things and getting things sorted. We had the kickoff call on Friday, which was really great, and it's just, I'm loving the energy of the group, and that's all I'm going to say at this point. Moving on to my May monthly goals. A development that has happened in April is that I seem to have gotten through a particular block with regards to my burnout. It was centered around my writing life and eventually affected other areas of my life as well. But the biggest hurt with the burnout was my writing life. So when I had that breakthrough, I have had a lot more creative energy. So what I've been doing is spending time in a story idea that I've gotten that I'm really enjoying. And I spend a little bit of time every day if I feel like it, particularly brainstorming the world and the story and the characters and just playing around with ideas for it. I have written a little bit of the story, but that is also something I'm not prioritizing right now because I don't want to push things too far. If I feel like writing, great, I will write, but I am not making it a priority to write over the brainstorming period because that is where I am getting a lot of energy from right now, and the creative energy that I have is amplifying through it. So I'm just focusing on that and doing other things as I feel like it and not doing things if I don't feel like it because, again, I do not want to push myself back into burnout. Related to all of that is I have an interest again in knitting. I had brought a number of projects with me to Chicago, and they were all projects that I had hit a stopping point on for various reasons, and I don't want to touch them. Simple as that. But I do want to knit again. I miss knitting. It's a creative outlet for me that isn't writing, that isn't anything else, and it's something I enjoy doing. And so I got the yarn and needles to start a new project. It's not only a new project, but it is a type of knitting project that I haven't attempted in a number of years, and that is a tunic top. And I'm really looking forward to trying it and getting going with that. And so one of my personal goals for this month is to get started knitting on it. It is the Serenity Tunic by Joji Locatelli. I will link to it below in the description if you're at all interested. Something that has been helping me over the last month that I also want to focus on doing this year is doing the daily journal in Notion. It includes doing morning and evening brain dumps, and it has been just so useful. So I want to continue doing that. For the fun and recreation area of life, it's a little up in the air, so I'm not going to really be focusing too much time and attention on it, but I don't want to forget some things that I'm working towards over the course of the year. If I have the mental space, I would like to work on figuring out how to allot my time for the rest of the year. Ideally, I would also like to spend some time figuring out the ideal allotment of time. So how much time do I spend on going to conferences that are not work conferences? How much time do I spend visiting with family? How much time do I spend going on vacation for myself, whether that is going off by myself or if it is going off with friends and family, just figuring out what that ratio is. The next goal that I have for fun and recreation is to reread a book that I read back in March that I really enjoyed. It is actually not out until July. I happen to have an advanced reader copy. If you're at all interested in paranormal romance, it is the Psy Changeling series by Nalini Singh, and the next book, which is Last Guard, is really excellent. I really enjoyed it. The other goal that I have in fun and recreation is to support me moving out of burnout, and that is to consume story in some way. Whether it is watching TV shows, movies, reading, listening to podcasts, whatever, I don't care. I need to start consuming story in some way, preferably story that is new to me. For the work and learning area of life, I do want to produce 8 videos for YouTube this month, and I'm slowly getting onto an okay production schedule. As you can see, Saturdays have been a little late for me, so I need to find my flow essentially with the production. And with that, my posting schedule might become a little erratic, but I am working on getting at least 8 videos to you this month. I also have a number of conferences coming up for the day job. These are all virtual conferences, and in fact, 2 of them are during the same time period, which means that things are going to be interesting for me during the month of May with regards to work. The other goal I have for work and learning is to maintain my Duolingo streak. Depending on what time it is right now, my 400 plus day streak, nearly 500 day streak, is probably in the toilet. we will see. I've missed the last 2 days because of things, so if I have to start over with that is fine. It is okay. I enjoy doing Duolingo, but I'm also kind of at the point where I enjoy doing it when I do it and not necessarily because I am maintaining a streak. So I need to figure out where I am with regards to Duolingo, and so this is going to be a good month for me to get that sorted out in my head. For family and relationships, my only goal is to have fun because, again, I am focused on being here, present with them, and I want to keep things simple this month. Health and wellness, get vaccinated! Get my second shot on Monday the 3rd. We will see how I'm feeling on Tuesday the 4th. I am really looking forward to getting my second shot. I'm the last of the adults in my family to get the second shot, and it will be so good to have us all fully vaccinated. The other goal that I have for this month is to pamper my one foot in particular because it was the one that has been giving me pain for the last couple of weeks. It seems to have cleared up at this point, but like burnout, when you jump into things too quickly, you can injure yourself even worse than how badly you were originally injured. I'm trying to be kind to myself and not hurt myself even further. For spiritual and personal growth area of life, the focus this month is clubmakse. So my main goal for this month is to participate fully every week in clubmakse in order to get the most out of it that I can, because I truly believe that the space that Sierra Friend has created is an area that will be beneficial, particularly to me, and hopefully beneficial to everybody else who is also signed up. My next goal for this area of life is to attend a strengths mastermind call. It is a monthly call that I have with a small group of friends, so I want to have it on the calendar. It is a very easy goal to check off, and so I like the easy wins. And then the other goal for this month in this area of life is to attend the Better Faster Academy's Patreon call for the level of Patreon support that I am at. This is another very easy thing for me to do, as I do it every single month. I really enjoy doing it. These are group coaching calls that are so useful to me to see what other people are dealing with and hearing the advice that is given to them, because I get a lot out of that advice and can very often use it for my own personal circumstances. I'm also kind of running off of the energy in that last month's call ended up being a personal coaching call because I was the only person who showed up for the call for that particular date and time. So it was really cool to get an hour and a half personal coaching call when it was supposed to be a group call. It was so incredibly useful for me, and the timing could not have been better. If you're at all familiar with CliftonStrengths, which I know I've mentioned many times before, my number 12 strength is connectedness. So you tend to see the connections between happenings and people and the world around you, and man, was my connectedness pinging off the shelf. Next up is financial. And again, I am keeping things simple and going for the easy wins, and I'll explain why in a moment. First off, pay off credit cards every week, which I do. I do let things slide sometimes, and I know exactly why I do it. Frankly, it's because I do not want to face up to the spending I've done. Great. The other thing I want to do is to save at least $1,000 for my emergency fund. I actually have a higher goal for the emergency fund, but I may need to take some of that to pay off some spending. But I know I can easily do $1,000, which is why I set that as my goal. The last area of life is the physical environment area of life, and this one is going to be cleaning up the basement and making sure I just keep this area straight and clean and a pleasant area to be for when I come down here, and then for when the other people in my household come down here, because this is not private space for me at this point in time. There's no doors blocking anyone from coming in, so I want them to be able to feel free to come down, except when I truly need some private time. They're very respectful of it. That's not an issue, but at the same time, we have stuff down here that they need to have access to, so I just want them to be able to have easy access to those things and not feel like, oh my God, it's like she was in high school again and living in a pigsty. I was not the neatest. The other goal that I have for this area of life is to arrange for the various services for my new apartment to be turned on that I need to have turned on move-in day, as well as arrange for the storage facility to deliver what I have in storage to the new apartment while I'm out there. I think that's going to be really easy to do. I just need to get on the phone and arrange service. I say I think it's easy to do, but it's also a little bit of a block for me in that I need to juggle a few balls as to making sure that the loading dock for my new building is available during the date and time that I would like to have the storage people deliver, as well as making sure that they're available for that time, and then also calling and dealing with the energy company because they haven't responded to my form submission. Fun times. The reason why I decided to keep all these goals simple and easy wins, that's the time of life that I'm at in this month. I just need to keep things simple and have easy wins. It is just my circumstances with not being in a permanent place and being in a transitory state of being. I'm doing clubmakse. And the reason for me doing clubmakse is basically to reset myself, both for 2021 and frankly for being in pandemic, because we're now at a point where things are transitioning to the better. So yay, people are getting vaccinated. Please go get vaccinated if you can. And so things are lightening up, but there's a lot of mental garbage, frankly, that I still need to process. And being in clubmakse, I need to give myself the space in order to do the work and do the processing. So I don't want to overload myself with other stuff. June is going to be heavy enough as it is with getting the new apartment set up to the level I want to have it set up at. And then later on this summer, moving back to DC at some point. I don't know exactly when. Right now, my approval for distance telework sends through the end of July, but I don't know if they're going to do another period of distance telework. If they do, I am planning on applying for it at least to August, but who knows if I'm actually going to be approved. I don't know for sure yet when I'm moving back to DC permanently. My family and I are okay with the way things are, but again, this is still a transitory state of being, so I'm just working through those mental issues. I wanted to share what I am currently at and doing with it being a third of the way through 2021. I hope this has helped you in some way, either in letting you know that you are not alone, giving you some ideas of how you can slow down a bit in your goal setting if that's right for you, and giving you an idea of what to set goals for. Because I may have thought of something that triggers, oh hey, I should be doing that too. And if I do, great, drop that in the comments below. I would love to hear it and cheer you on. But it's okay to have a moment and just be quiet. Because things are the way they are, it's okay to be in the place that you need to be and process what you need to process. I just want you to know that you are loved, and I appreciate having you here. I appreciate you watching my videos and inviting me into your space, but I'm just happy that you are here in this world to enjoy things, because I am. So with that, I'm going to ask you to give this a thumbs up if you have found anything in this video useful. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Check out my Getting Right with My Finances playlist to see if that is at all helpful to you. And if you would like to see what I've done to achieve my goals in past weeks at the beginning of this year, check out my vlogs videos for how I have been doing that. I will also link that playlist here, and thank you so much. May all your dreams be ruby dreams. Bye-bye.